Somewhere right now, someone is heading to work knowing they might not come home. We're ranking 8 professions where fatality rates climb dozens of times above the national average. Careers shaped by toxic exposure, explosives, frozen seas, and gravity that never forgives. The number 1 spot carries a death rate so staggering it barely sounds real. Let's begin at number 8, where the danger starts at 30,000 feet. 8th place. Cargo pilots fly massive freight to remote outposts where icy runways and pitch-black nights are just another Tuesday. While highly procedural, everything changes when heavy payloads, severe icing, and sleep deprivation collide in a single cockpit. The job carries a sharp risk profile, famously leading to strict Federal Aviation Administration Part 121 amendments after a fatal 1975 DC-3 cargo crash in Saipan. Today, operators face a ticking clock to implement strict safety management systems by May 2027. Surviving up here isn't about cinematic stunts, it's about precise weight calculations and crew resource management. As pilots joke when staring down a bad approach, we've got a spare tire, not a spare wing. In the 7th place, professional race car drivers weaponize human reflexes at speeds exceeding 300 kilometers per hour. Inside the tight cockpit, temperatures frequently soar past 50 degrees Celsius, transforming a carbon fiber safety cell into a high-pressure furnace. Survival here is measured in milliseconds, backed by engineers and pit crews who manage a razor-thin margin of safety. This kinetic spectacle carries a harsh physical cost: 4.9 deaths per 100,000 drivers and 1,420 non-fatal injuries per 200,000 full-time equivalents. Yet racers remain obsessed with the comeback, relying on life-saving designs like the HANDS device, the 2014 titanium halo, and sweeping 2005 FIA safety reforms that redefined modern motorsport. As drivers dryly joke after walking away from a terrifying crash, "I'm completely fine, but my mechanics are going to kill me." In the 6th place, extreme mountain guides trade mechanical safety nets for raw, unshielded exposure. Up here in the death zone where oxygen starvation clouds basic reasoning, a guide's split-second choice dictates whether a client summits or freezes. Statistically, outdoor recreation workers face 6.8 fatalities per 100,000, alongside over 2,000 non-fatal injuries annually. But numbers fail to capture the moral weight of overriding a wealthy client's blind ambition to force a mandatory turnaround. From the cautionary wreckage of the 1996 Everest disaster to the modern code of the IFMGA safety charter, survival relies on satellite weather trackers and unyielding human intuition. When the storm hits, guides joke that they are basically highly certified babysitters in crampons, except their toddlers can easily pull them off a cliff. In the 5th place, hazardous waste disposal workers contain toxic, radioactive, and chemically unstable materials, facing an invisible threat far harder to read than mountain storms. This quiet civic protection prevents long-term catastrophes under the radar. The stakes are immense. Solid waste management sees 7.4 deaths per 100,000 workers and 1,580 injuries per 200,000 full-time equivalents. Operating under the Superfund Act of 1980 and the 1990 OSHA Has-Woper Rule, these technicians deal with heavy psychological pressure. They pack unstable compounds into double-seal containers and endure grueling, multi-stage decontamination procedures to ensure they do not bring their work home. While military units test autonomous decontamination units, civilian crews still rely on physical labor, thick rubber suits, and dark humor. After peeling off a sweat-drenched hazmat suit, a worker might dryly joke that at least they will not need a nightlight. It is a silent battle against hidden contamination. In the 4th place, combat engineers, frequently known as sappers, must perform high-precision construction and demolition while under direct fire. These specialists clear landmines, breach heavy obstacles, and neutralize improvised explosive devices, carrying a psychological toll where mistakes are instantaneous and lethal. Civilian hazards are passive, while military explosives are actively designed to kill. This intense danger results in an operational fatality rate of 12 deaths per 100,000 active-duty personnel, with 2,560 injuries per 200,000 full-time equivalents. Operating under strict NATO protocols, sappers rely on dual-check procedures, remote detonation tools, and heavy blast shields to survive. They carry the immense moral responsibility of clearing paths to protect soldiers and civilians alike. Even with shrapnel flying, sappers keep their composure, often dryly joking that it is simply another day, another dud. In the 3rd place, industrial high-altitude climbers maintain massive transmission towers, wind turbines, and skyscrapers where work cannot be done from the ground. Unlike battlefield hazards that shift, gravity never switches off, making this constant physical threat highly lethal. Every single second relies on absolute rope discipline and redundant anchoring. This environment results in 13.1 deaths per 100,000 workers and 1,850 injuries per 200,000 full-time equivalents. To mitigate these falls, crews depend on fall arrest systems, self-locking safety devices, and strict regulations stemming from the 1995 OSHA updates. While drone-assisted inspections handle basic scanning, humans must still dangle hundreds of meters in the air to torque massive bolts in howling winds. Surviving here requires supreme mental control, especially when a sudden near miss or high-angle rescue tests the entire system. Yet these workers keep their cool, often joking over the radio that if they fall, at least they will get promoted to the ground crew. In second place, loggers harvest timber in remote forests where gravity turns massive falling wood into a chaotic crushing weapon. This profession carries a heavy civilian risk profile, recording 33.8 deaths per 100,000 workers in 2023 and 4,210 injuries per 200,000 full-time equivalents. Loggers face the constant threat of widowmakers, dead branches suspended high in the canopy that dislodge and strike with lethal force without warning. Survival hinges on spotter discipline, thick protective gear, and the skill of reading how a living tree behaves before committing to a cut. To combat these hazards, the industry has evolved from the safe-cutting initiatives of the 1990s and the 2005 ANSI standards to testing electric chainsaws and 2024 trials of robotic felling assistance. Yet machinery cannot replace human instinct when a trunk splits and forces a quick run for the escape route. Ground crews handle this pressure with grit, often joking that if you hear the wood crack, you are already too late to run anyway. And finally, in first place, commercial crab fishing on the Bering Sea stands as the ultimate test of human endurance. This extreme profession carries the heaviest occupational burden of any job, recording a stark 81.6 deaths per 100,000 workers and over 9,000 non-fatal injuries. Out here, the working platform is a pitch-black ice-coated deck tossed by 40-foot waves, where exhausted crews pull consecutive 20-hour shifts. The primary hazard is mechanical and kinetic, wrangling massive 2-ton steel pots swinging wildly on crane lines. A single misstep means going overboard into freezing water, a chilling reality highlighted by the tragic February 2026 loss of veteran deckhand Todd Meadows. While 1999 Coast Guard stability regulations and the global spotlight of deadliest catch helped reform vessel safety, technology cannot tame a rogue wave. Survival relies entirely on flawless deck coordination, rapid weather routing, and a healthy dose of gallows. After all, as seasoned deckhands like to say, if we do not get the crab gets us. If you want to see the more stories of humanity's most extreme limits, hit the subscribe button now. Across these 8 professions, one truth emerges. Our modern comfort is built on invisible survival. These workers don't just brave the extreme, they hold civilization together at the absolute edge of existence. Every daily convenience we enjoy is paid for in raw courage. Subscribe for more extreme survival stories.